everyone, this is Fantega with 100% Gaming, and welcome to Should I Purchase, a series where I break down the newest games we're releasing to help you decide if the game is for you. Now, today we're talking about none other than Borderlands 3, a game that I've been waiting for and have been in love with the series since Borderlands 2. I've played through the Telltale series of Borderlands twice, spent 164 hours on the pre-sequel, and over 500 hours on Borderlands 2, so I have just a little bit of experience from the games and what to expect with Borderlands 3. Now, though I clearly am a fan of the Borderlands franchise, and I will try not to be biased whilst doing my review, but seriously, stop watching this video and just buy the game, now. But first, please like, subscribe, comment, as it really helps out a small channel like mine. The footage I have taken is mostly from the early stages of the game, and will do my best to keep the spoilers at a minimum. But to do the game justice, I may need to spoil some minor details. I will let you know when they are about to arise. Though Borderlands 3 is not without its issues, which we will touch on at the end of the video, I have found that my pure enjoyment for the game completely outweighs and disregards the small annoying issues and bugs I have come across. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, but Borderlands 3 is a unique mix of fun gunplay and weird wacky humour, which if you understand will have you laughing throughout the whole game. If you have played the previous games and enjoyed the humour, well, buckle in because there is plenty more in store for you. I highly suggest completing the side quests, as you would know, for both the humour and the kick-ass loot. This time round, there are two loot options. I forget what they're actually called, but upon starting the game, you can make the loot instanced, so only you can see the loot that is dropped for you. Or, you can go down the traditional route, where everyone gets the same loot. I find it's a really good system, but it can be frustrating when your friend finds a legendary and you don't, or vice versa. Speaking about loot, my oh my. As you already know, there is heaps of it. There are more guns that you could ever see or pick up, let alone shoot. The developers report that there is over 1 billion guns in Borderlands 3. Over 1 billion glorious mayhem-making guns, guys. Seriously, that's not even including shields or relics. That's insane. With such a huge variety of guns, gameplay is ever-changing, as you're constantly picking up newer and better guns as you play through the game. One moment you may be charging in with a shotgun or a sight rifle, then the next battle using a sniper rifle you just picked up. Also, many guns have two different modes. For example, I had a sniper rifle that turns into a rocket launcher, or an Atlas weapon that allows your shots to lock onto the target. Now, depending on which four of the main characters you pick, may result in favouring a specific gun type. For example, I like to use a Jacobs shotgun while playing as Flak. But there are always plenty of other viable options, and finding and using rare, unique, and legendaries in game are still just as exciting as ever. For example, the bogus shooting rocket launcher I had acquired. It's a piece of rubbish, but the humour it brings is what makes this gun and the Borderlands so special. As mentioned before, Flak is one of the 4 current Vault Hunters available to play. You can play as Flak, who is focused around pets, Zane, who is unique in the way that he can use 2 action skills at once, Mose, who can summon a giant mech called Iron Bear, and Amara, the game's Siren, who is quite like Krieg in Borderlands 2. In Borderlands 3, one main change is you don't spend your whole game on Pandora. You are actually able to explore new planets across the borderlands. This has allowed the enemy types to change constantly so you don't get stuck fighting off bandits or skags for the whole game. This improves the game and combat significantly, as you are constantly moving to new worlds. I find myself amazed and gobsmacked of the new environment I am introduced to, from the wastelands of Pandora to the thriving city with working coffee shops, and even to the moon where they have brought back the gravity mechanics from the pre-sequel. Thank you, Gearbox. There is always something new to see and do, and new things to explore. The ability to travel to new worlds also adds the ability for enemy types to rapidly change from bandits to corporate armies to wild beasts. Each encounter is different and makes you think where the weak spot is on the bad guys to deal that little bit of extra damage. Speaking about traversing the worlds, Ellie has really stepped it up here with the vehicles. Now not only can you customize their skins, but you can now change their boosts, their weapons, and much, much more. You can also find vehicles around the Borderlands and take them to any catch a ride, and you'll be able to use them any time a vehicle is available. So far, I really like the Cyclone. It's quick, nimble, and fun to drift around. If somehow you manage to be bored of all of this, Borderlands 3 allows you to play the game entirely in co-op mode rather than solo. I've played the game in both modes for countless hours, and the game changes dramatically. Solo, you're playing by yourself, taking it slowly, and co-op I found was total mayhem. As you're customizing a character or handing in a quest, another teammate is off doing a side quest completing it without you. I think the beauty of solo is you let the game take you on a journey, whereas co-op, you make the game your own journey. My suggestion is to play with one other person, so you'll get the best of both worlds. Completing quests together and laughing at the jokes together. I think Borderlands 3 could change some of the game mechanics a little bit to make it just a little bit better for multiplayer. I think to hand in a quest, all players should be in the area, same as picking up the quest or completing a quest objective along the way. I think it'll just mean everyone's included in the actual story and you're not missing out on parts, missing out on some of the jokes. I think it'll just make the whole experience that little bit better. Couch co-op is also back with Borderlands 3, which is amazing that developers still support this, because that's how some people decide to play the games. For example, couples on a cute date night. I have heard issues where you can only play it in one way, vertical, horizontal, I'm not quite sure, which I think really needs to get fixed or patched soon. I found the story to be quite entertaining and flows well from the previous titles. I was wondering how they would create a villain that could stand up to Handsome Jack, one of the best villains of all time. I think they have done a good job up to the point in the story that I am. I am super happy to report that characters are returning from previous games, such as Lilith and the Crimson Raiders, to some Vault Hunters from Borderlands 2, as well as characters from the pre-sequel. The characters introduced in Borderlands 3 are also super entertaining, so much so that I may have found a new favourite character in one of the upcoming Sirens. The gameplay also feels really good, and the shooting for me just works. Now I'm not claiming to be amazing at first-person shooter games, but this one just feels right. From running to sliding and jumping into the air, and the new ledge climbing feature to reach slightly higher places, it all just feels like butter. With all the positive, unfortunately I must address the negative. Playing on PC, I've ran into some issues. I'll be showing cutscenes and story missions that had bugged in rather hilarious ways, I must add. And on a further note, my game has crashed twice, and when playing with friends, we would occasionally get disconnected from each other when travelling to the next section on the map. For some reason, playing on an ultra-wide screen, in my case, on my computer, half the cutscenes were cut off from the game. I can handle it, but it's rather annoying missing half of the cutscene. In the end, Borderlands 3 really is just more Borderlands. But there is really nothing wrong with that. It's prettier, the worlds are bigger, there are more guns. If you're a fan of the other games in this series, I really think you'll like this one as well. Well everyone, this has been Should I Purchase with Fantica from 100% Gaming. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, and if you're going to play or you're playing Borderlands 3, what character is your main? Thanks for watching.
This is gold!
Now you can probably take that back now.
You're a siren?
Yeah, well, runs in the family.
I'm the siren. He's just a parasite. Literally, when we were born, our father had to cut him off me. Now I'm the only thing keeping him alive. What are you doing? I can leech the power from any living thing. Even you, Firehawk. Legendary Vault Hunter. Slayer of the Destroyer. Firehawk. So many titles. So little impact. Well, I've taken your powers. Might as well finish you off.
Okay then.
Tyreen!
Fine.
Man, you should have seen your face! You were like, oh my God! Ty, come on! We're live in 3, 2.
What is up, brothers and sisters? God Queen Tyreen coming to you live. We got something real special for you today. Your #1 most requested murder. It's the great heretic herself, the Firehawk. Well, look who got plucked. Smile. Let's give this Firehawk thing a try. Where my reindeer followers at? Ha! Loving it! But that's not all. Our path to the Great Vault has been revealed. Next up, Promethea! Don't forget to like, follow, and obey. Don't feel bad, Lil. All legends have to die. You had a good run. I guess? That's just something people say. I don't really believe it.
All right, let's get out of here. I want to see if Katagawa's good on his word. Leave the scraps to the dogs.
Shot, yeah.
Bye-bye now. Thanks for the map. And your powers. I'll make sure to finish what you started. Later, Firehawk. Or whatever you are now.
It's an ambush! Damn
Okay,
it!
that
Door's
just
busted!
happened.